to Remote Control Music Class, a podcast providing a musical adventure for anyone looking to learn about music. My name is Mr. Johnson, and I'll be your guide through this musical journey, and for that, I am not sorry. Here's how the show works. Wait! What's that, Mr. Johnson? Today, we have a very special episode. Today is all about everyone's favorite instrument. Every parent's worst nightmare. The recorder! Yeah, I can hear you cheering from here. Ladies and gentlemen, let me first start off by saying the recorder is an awesome instrument. The way I just played it was terrible. Yes, I know that. However, many people are fine, talented recorder players who can make beautiful music out of the recorder. And today, we are going to dive into a couple of different aspects of the recorder and really, hopefully, gain a new appreciation for this great instrument. On today's singing segment, let's do some singing! We are going to sing some famous recorder songs. Ooh, because, if you can sing something, you probably will be able to play it a little bit better if you actually have gone through singing it. So we're going to look at 3 recorder songs, Hot Cross Buns, Aura-Lee, and Ode to Joy. And we're not only going to sing these songs, we're also going to sing them in solfege. Maybe get some hand signs happening. That should be exciting. Moving on to the rhythm segment.
Time to read the music notes.
We're going to work on creating some 4-beat rhythm patterns that we're going to use for the wild card segment to create our very own recorder melodies. Yes, you will be creating your own recorder compositions. And in the listening room,
shh, I'm trying to listen.
Surprise, surprise, we're going to listen to a phenomenal recorder quartet featuring the song The Cantina Band from Star Wars by John Williams. Surely stick around to hear me talk about that one. So, Remote Control Music Class, you are in control. You can hear 1 part, you can hear 2 parts, you can hear 3 parts, you can hear all the parts, or you can turn the podcast off now. No, please don't do that. Please continue watching at least 1, but you don't even have to go in order. You can skip around. You are in control on Remote Control Music Class. Fasten those safety belts. Let's get into our special recorder episode. Let's do some singing. Are you ready to do some singing? See if you can sing this shape with me. Ooh. How about this shape? Excellente. And because this is the recorder special edition of Remote Control Music Class, I have a fun little singing activity in mind to enforce our recorder skills. We are going to sing through some very famous recorder melodies. So take a look at the screen. Here's your first recorder melody. This one should look very obvious. Painfully obvious, if you will. Yes, this is the immortal Hot Cross Buns. So let's start off by singing the letters that we would play on recorder. And if you really want to, after we're done singing, go back and play these, because this is the recorder special edition. Okay, let's sing Hot Cross Buns with the letter names, okay? 1, 2, ready, go. B-A-G, B-A-G, G-G-G-A-A-A-B-A-G. Excellent. Let's play it again. Sing it again. If you don't have a recorder handy, you could also play your air recorder in front of you while you're singing this. It's a great way to reinforce the notes and do some singing at the same time. Ready, go. B-A-G, B-A-G, G-G-G-G-A-A-A-A-B-A-G. Okay, here's what you might not know. That these exact same recorder notes also have solfege notes. So if you take a look now, the B's and A's and G's have changed to M's and R's and D's, which stand for mi, re, and do. So let's sing the same thing again, but let's sing these solfege words. And if you want to use some hand signs or even move your hands up and down that show the note, that would be kind of cool. Let's try it on the solfa words. Ready? Ready, go. Mi, re, do. Mi, re, do. Do, 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 re, 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 mi, re, do. You know what's more amazing? As I was thinking about moving my fingers on the recorder notes, your fingers move higher and lower as the notes get higher and lower. B is just that one finger at the top. And then when I go down to A, re, my fingers get lower. And then G, which is do, my fingers get even lower. So it's amazing how the notes and the solfa words work together. Okay, let's take a look at another recorder song. How about this one? Do you recognize this one? This one's towards the top of the recorder challenge, and we see some new letters in there. This, my friends, is Aura Lee. Let's try to sing the letters. This is going to be a squeaky one for me. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. G, C, B, C, D, A, D, C, B, A, B, C. Wow. So we got some new notes in there. I apologize. That high D is at the absolute top of my singing voice range. Whew. But I'm going to keep on trying. Let's try the letters again. Ready, go. G, C, B, C, D, A, D, C, B, A, B, C. Okay, now this one is a little bit different when it comes to the somi words that we use because G is not do. In the first one, G was do. In hot cross buns, B was mi, A was re, G was do. In this one, G is so, which makes that high C do. B is T, goes back to do. And then high D, well, think about it. If C is do, a note higher than C is D. The note higher than do is re. So D is re, which makes A la. Wow. So let's try to sing these solfa patterns for Aura Lee. Ready? 1, 2, ready, go. So, do, ti, do, re, la, re. Do, ti, la, ti, do. I think in this one that la, ti, do. That's a really good pattern to know because I see that in a lot of different things that I end up singing. So, la, ti, do. Being able to not only sing those, but hear those is pretty important. All right, let's sing the somi words again. Ready? Here we go. So, do, ti, do, re, la, re. Do, ti, la, ti, do. All right, and let's take a look at one more famous recorder song. This looks a little familiar. Ah, yes, my friends, this is the equally as immortal as hot cross buns, Ode to Joy. That's right, one of the last songs on Recorder Challenge number 1, if we prescribe to the same recorder challenges. And if you're watching this, you most likely do. Let's sing the letter names. Ready, go. B, B, C, D, D, C, B, A, G, G, A, B, B, A, A. So as you can see, it's not the entire song, but it's the main part. And even if you don't think you're ready for Ode to Joy, I bet you'll be able to do this part. Because if you know high C and high D on recorder, this part's really not that bad. Let's sing those letters again. Ready, go. B, B, C, D, D, C, B, A, G, G, A, B, B, A, A. Excellent. Now let's take a look at the somi words. So the good news is we're back to B equals mi, A equals re, G equals do. However, if B is mi, what does that make C? Ooh, fa. Because C is higher than B, fa is higher than mi. So what does that make D? So D is one note higher than C, which means one note higher than fa is so. Ooh, so we got do, re, mi, fa, so. the first 5 notes of the major scale. Pretty cool. Let's try it in the So-mi words. Ready? Here we go. Mi, mi, fa, so, fa, mi, re, do, re, re. Awesome. So let's summarize our learning for this singing segment that we did. Well, we looked at a bunch of recorder melodies. We sang their pitches, which is a good way to practice singing and playing all these recorder patterns. If you can sing them, you can play them. And then we talked about, well, what about if we used the So-mi words? What would they be? They wouldn't be a B. Oh, that one would be a mi or a re or a do. And then we sang them. Either way, friends, if you were singing along and following along, you were reading music, which is why we are here.
Time to read the music notes.
And welcome to the rhythm segment. And on today's rhythm segment, we will be composing some 4-beat rhythm patterns that we will use to create a recorder melody. I'm going to be referring to a couple of documents here, which if you check in the show notes, you will be able to access those. So check the show notes and you can look at them on your own, but I will show you what you need to see for now. So let's take a look. The directions say, compose 2 4-beat rhythm patterns in the rhythm row. Freeze. Let's stop right there. If you look at that table below, the bottom row, it says rhythm, and then there's 2 large boxes, each labeled number 1, number 2. In each of those giant boxes, we need to put a 4-beat rhythm pattern. You might be thinking to yourself,
How do I make a 4-beat rhythm pattern?
well, I have a very easy, foolproof method for you. Take a look at this. I've developed something called the Magic 813. You'll see why in a moment. But right here, you are seeing 8 different patterns. They only use ta, TT, and rest. That's ta, quarter note, TT, eighth notes, and the rest is a quarter note rest. Each of these 8 patterns is only 2 beats long. Okay, every single one of them. So if we are trying to make a 4-beat pattern, if we pick 2 of my 2-beat patterns, because 2 plus 2 is 4, then we'll have a 4-beat pattern. Okay, so it's as simple as you just got to pick one. I'm going to start with number 3. I like number 3, ti-ti-ta. So I write that in my box, the rhythm box number 1. And then I need one more if I want to get to 4 beats. How about number 5, ta, rest. Okay, now check it out. Now I have ti-ti-ta, ta. That silence I made, that was the rest. Hopefully you got that. So that's my first 4-beat rhythm pattern. I need a second one. So I'm going to go back to my chart, the Magic 813. This time, let's start with number 4. T, 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 T. Okay, there's 2 beats. I need 2 more. I think I'll go to number 5 again. I liked number 5 so much the first time. Ta, rest. I think I'll do it. So now my second rhythm pattern looks like this. T, 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 ta, rest. If I put them together and try to read the whole thing right in a row, it would sound like this. Ti, ti, ta, ta, ti, 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 ta. Not too bad, so I kind of like it. They're almost similar, but they're just a little bit different. All right, let's go back to the directions here. And it says, for each note in your rhythm, choose a pitch to play on recorder. Write the pitches in the pitch box above the rhythm. So we have this little tiny box above the notes that we just put in, and it says pitch. So here, pitches are the letters that you play on the instrument. So now I'm going to pick letters to go with every sound I make. So TT, 2 sounds, I need 2 letters. Okay? So I think I'll pick GGAA. Do I need a sound for a rest? What is a rest supposed to do? Supposed to play silence. Nope, I do not need a letter for the rest. And then my second measure, CCDDA. How about that? So you see right on the screen, I have chosen my pitches and I've added them right above my rhythms. Next, I want to make sure that I know how my rhythm goes. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure I can clap it one more time, making sure I am an expert because I wrote it. If I'm not an expert, who is? Ready? 1, 2, here I go. Ti, ti, ta, ta. Ti, 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 ta. I got it. And then I can even practice it on recorder, but we're going to wait till the wild card segment to do that. Hint, hint, hint. You know what? That composition was so short, I want to do another one. What, Mr. Johnson? You're going to do 2 more 4-beat patterns? Yes, I am. So I go right back to my directions. And the first thing it says, compose 2 4-beat rhythm patterns in the rhythm row. So I'm going to kind of do that again. But this time, instead of just going from the first 8 of the Magic 8, let's take a look at the whole Magic 13. Because if you look, starting in pattern 9, 10, 11, and 12, there are some 16th notes in there. Tiri tiri. Very fast rhythm. So I'd like to try some of those, as I'm sure many of you would like to try. So I'm going to pick pattern 9. Tiri tiri ta. Okay? Tiri tiri, friends. 4 sounds squeezed into 1 beat. Because again, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 on the Magic 13, they are also only 2 beats long, just like the whole thing. So if I pick tiri tiri ta, pattern 9, that's only 2 beats. I still need 2 more because I'm trying to get to 4, just like before. So I think I will go, number 3 really was good for me before. I'm going to go right back to number 3, ti ti ta. So if I put that in, tiri tiri ta, ti ti ta, I have my first 4-beat rhythm pattern here. All right, let's go back to the drawing board. I need a second one. You know what? Number 9 I like. I'm not going to get too crazy. I don't need to pick them all. Why do I need to try them all? I like what I like. I like number 9. Number 9 is my favorite number, by the way. Number 9, number 9, number 9, number 9. Tiri tiri ta. I'm putting it in again. That's 2 beats. I need 2 more beats to get to 4. What should I do now? How about pattern number 7? T rest. Yeah, all right, that's a new one. It's a little different, but I'm willing to try that one. I'm willing to try one new thing. So if I put my second pattern together, I have tiri tiri ta, ti rest. Okay, I can now go back and attempt to clap my entire new rhythm pattern from the beginning. Here I go. Tiri tiri ta, ti ta, tiri tiri ta, ti sh. Okay. Back to my directions. It says, for each note in your rhythm, choose a pitch to play in recorder. Write the pitches in the pitch box above the rhythm. Well, just like before, every sound for those rhythms I chose need a recorder note. Okay, so tiri tiri, tiri tiri. Those are 4 sounds. I need 4 different notes. Okay, so let's choose these notes. How about B, 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 A, G, 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 A, 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 B, B, G. And again, I don't need a note for the rest. Some of you may be looking at that. I chose a B for the first part of TT and a G for the second part. Is that allowed, Mr. Johnson? Are you allowed to do that? Yes. Every sound gets a letter. Doesn't have to be the same letter. Is it easier to play the same letter? Oh, you better believe it. But you could choose different letters. Okay, let me practice my new pattern right from the beginning. Here I go. Tiri tiri ta, ti ta. Tiri tiri ta, ti. I am an expert now. I've made 2 4-beat rhythm patterns, and I've added pitches to them. Stay tuned for the wild card segment to see how this all plays itself out. But let's just take a step back and talk about what did we learn in this segment today? Well, we learned how to take 2-beat patterns, combine them with another 2-beat pattern, and get 4 beats. So we really we created 4-beat rhythm patterns using kind of like a choice of rhythms that already existed. You don't have to create them, from scratch every single time. You can take what you know, like the 8 and the 13 that I have, take what you know, combine them, and bada bing, bada boom, you are off to the races. Now, stay tuned for the wildcard segment because we're going to turn this simple rhythm exercise into a recorder composition. And welcome to the wildcard segment. And as promised in this recorder feature, we are going to take the rhythm patterns that we composed in the rhythm segment and turn them into recorder melodies. So here's where we left off. We have our rhythm with a pitch, a letter name for the recorder, assigned to every sound. Okay, so I'm going to go through the whole entire thing just once, again, to make sure I know the rhythm. Because if you expect to actually play this on a recorder, friends, you must be an expert at the rhythm. Okay, here we go. Let's do our whole 4 measure. We did 2 the first time, then we did 2 more the second time. We're combining them to 4. Our whole 4 measure composition, 4 measures each with a 4-beat pattern. Wow, that's a lot of 4s. Here we go. 1, 2, we're clapping. Let's do it. Ti ti ta ta, ti 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 ta. Tiri tiri ta, ti ti ta, tiri tiri ta, ti ti. Okay, above each of the notes in that pitch row, you see there are letters assigned to each of those pitches that we just played. Okay, let's do the same thing. I want to say the letters as I clap. Ready? Here we go. G, G, A, C, C, D, D, A. B, 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 A, G, 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 A, B, B, G. Okay, now, if we read the directions on our original worksheet, it says combine your pitch and your rhythm to notate your melody on the staff below. Be sure to draw the note heads, the circles of the note, on the correct lines or spaces, and separate your measures with a bar line. So this, by far, is the trickiest part, maybe even more tricky than playing it. I chose G, G, A for that very first measure. I need to draw those circles for the G on the correct line of the staff. Where does the G go? Every good boy deserves fudge. Second line. I need A's. Where does A go? Well, A goes on a space. Face rhymes with space. F-A-C-E. A is the second space. Okay, so I believe that many of you have done this before. If you haven't, check out some other videos on my YouTube channel. I have one called Staff Introduction. It tells you all about how to figure out where the notes go on the staff. So, take a look. I have done the entire thing. I did it on my computer ahead of time. It might take you a lot longer, and you only have to do 2 measures. You don't have to do 4 like I did, but I want to show you all the possibilities. Whew, that's what it looks like. Notice all these notes now are on the staff. Hey, wait a minute.
Some of them are upside down, Mr. Johnson. Why are the C's and the D's and the B's upside down?
Well, a rule of writing music is that if a note is B or higher on your staff, the treble clef staff, if a note is B or higher, you usually draw it upside down. Okay? If it's A or lower, you draw it right side up like you're used to seeing. That being said, if it's upside down, it doesn't change anything. Okay? I always like to say, if you're a student and I hold you upside down by your ankles, you are still the same student. You are not a different version of that person. By the way, I would never hold anyone upside down by their ankles, except maybe a stuffed animal. But they're not people. They're stuffed animals. But if you continue to look, all the note heads are in the same place. If I have 4 B's, all 4 of those B's are on the same exact line, and they are on that third line. Every good boy. Okay, we know where the A's are. And most of you will just be dealing with G, A, B, C, and D. So look where those places are on the staff. Don't put it at the very tippity top or the very bottom, because those are not where G, A, B, C, or D live. Okay, I'm now going to attempt to play you this melodic composition that I created for you. Here we go. 1, 2, ready. Wow. So those tiri-tiris are pretty tricky, and I think the trick is getting your tongue to move and hit the roof of your mouth really quick on the recorder. Tongue hits the roof of your mouth right behind your top teeth, and you can practice by saying that's what it will feel like when you're playing. All right, let's hear this thing one more time. You can play along if you got a recorder with you. Ready, and okay, not too bad. Here's the beauty of this. After you write and play your own, if you don't like something, you can change it. Please, if you don't like the way it sounds, change a note. You know, there's one note in mine that I'm considering changing it. What about if I change the A in my second measure to a G? Let's try. I'm going to try the whole thing. I'm going to change one A to a G. Let's see if it changes anything. Ready? Well, that did feel very different to me, changing that A at the end of the second measure into a G. It was just a little bit harder to play. So again, you are the boss. This is your song. You can even give it a title. Okay, I love writing music. I think if you sit down and actually go through this, you'll find that it's really fun and enjoyable as well. You can even document your composition by recording it for me and send me an email with the recording. I would love it. I'm also going to link to a really easy, free to use website that just lets you record something and then you get a link and you can send me the link. Okay, it's called Vocaroo. I'm not really sure how to say it. But either way, look in the show notes for a link, and it's very easy to use. You just press the red record button, and you play. It gives you a link. You send me the link. I would love to hear your compositions. Keep on going, Recorder Composers.
Shh! I'm trying to listen.
And surprise, surprise, on today's listening segment, guess what we're going to be listening to? That's right. No, we're not going to listen to me play recorder. You're going to watch an amazing video that I found on YouTube. It's going to be linked below. John Williams, famous film composer, wrote the music for most people's favorite film, Star Wars. The Cantina Band, you know the part where they walk into the cantina and you got the weird aliens playing you, something like that. Well, there's a guy online who arranged it for a recorder quartet. Oh boy, what does that word quartet mean? How many quarter? How many quarters make $1? 4. Quartet is 4 different recorders. So when you see this video, you're not only going to see him playing 4 different recorders. Each recorder is a different size. So my biggest question is, why do you think they're different sizes? What do you think the different size recorders sound like? Do they all sound the same, or will they sound different? Well, there is one rule of musical instruments that I implore you to remember, and that is, the bigger the instrument, the lower the sound. And the opposite is true. The smaller the instrument, the higher the sound. So, you're going to see the recorder all the way over to the left. That's his smallest recorder. That's the same recorder you guys have, if you are an elementary school student, presumably. That's the soprano recorder. If you look all the way to the right, the recorder all the way to the right, you will see a bass recorder, which is significantly larger, therefore significantly lower. So take a listen to this really awesome recorder quartet. I want you to pay close attention to the guy's fingers. Doesn't matter what recorder you look at, just pick any and really look how close his fingers are to the recorder at all times. Look at when he presses them down, the speed and accuracy. He's also not looking at his fingers. I know many of us new recorder players, we like to look at our fingers to make sure they're doing what we want them to do. This guy has total trust in his fingers. He doesn't even need to look. This guy is absolutely an expert recorder player. Also, look at how he's breathing and when he's breathing. Does he take the recorder out of his mouth to take big, giant breaths? Or does he just kind of take little breaths to the point where you probably don't even know that he's breathing? And also think about the coordination it takes for all 4 of those recorders to play at the same time. Are they playing the same thing, or are they playing different things? Whew, this is quite the recorder video. Happy listening.
What did we learn?
And welcome to the wrap-up. I really enjoyed kind of taking a recorder focus in today's episode. So let's take a step back and talk about what we learned. In the singing segment, we looked at some excerpts of famous recorder songs like Hot Cross Buns, Orally, and Ode to Joy, and we sang the letters. You know, I really think singing something that you are going to eventually play is so important in learning it, because if you can sing it, you should be able to play it, or at least have it in your mind. So we not only sang the pitch names, we also sang these in solfege, which was really interesting to see how Ode to Joy used do, re, mi, fa, and so. Hot Cross Buns used only mi, re, and do. Orally, I kind of switched the solfege notes around. We started on so, do, ti, do, re, la, re. Pretty interesting to see those different patterns and how they sound. Then in our rhythm segment, we worked on creating 4-beat patterns. And I gave you kind of a menu that I called the Magic 8 or the Magic 13 of 2-beat patterns. And if we need to have 4 beats, well, you take 2 of the 2 beats. 2 plus 2 is 4. So it was pretty cool how we pretty much picked note patterns off a menu, put them together to get 4 beat patterns, stuck them all together, and then we had our own rhythmic composition. And then in the wild card, we added pitches. We added letter names to each of those rhythmic sounds that we already created in the rhythm segment to create our very own recorder composition. And then finally, moving on to the listening segment, we got to hear that really awesome version of the Cantina Band played by 4 different recorders. The recorders in order from left to right, if you can look at your screen, the leftmost recorder is the soprano recorder, which is generally the smallest recorder. Then after that one comes the alto recorder, which is a little bit bigger and therefore a little bit lower. You actually gain 8 lower notes than you have on the soprano recorder. So the alto recorder, a little bit longer, a little bit lower. Then moving over to the right, a bigger one than that, that's the tenor recorder, which I would also imagine you gain another 8 lower notes. And then the biggest one, the bass recorder, getting way, way down there, the lowest recorder that they got. So thanks so much for listening. I would love to hear from you. Please feel free to send me an email at sjohnsonjr@westerly.k12.ri.us. And be sure to check out my other web links also listed below in the show description. And please check out some of my other videos. There's plenty of remote control music class episodes to go around and more coming your way. This week, I figured it would be apropos to leave you with me playing a famous song on the recorder. This is I've Been Working on Recorder All the Livelong Day. Oh, wait. I've been working on the railroad? No, I've been working on recorder. Here we go. Thanks for listening to Remote Control Music Class. Remote Control Music Class. Follow your adventure down a musical path. Remote Control